Hey guys, so they actually did a data download a day early. The reason why is because tomorrow is actually a national holiday in Japan, so I imagine they're just not going to be working tomorrow, so they decided to just push the data today. This green cooler is getting a Zenkai. If you guys were playing like at the beginning of the game, like really early on in the game, this was like 2 months into the game probably. This cooler came out on a Legends Rising banner with purple Turles. They were both so bad they had to be emergency buffed. It was like basically a Goku and Frieza style buff, but it was not nearly as severe as that. They actually ended up buffing their soul boosting boards. I think they like gave them some additional abilities through the soul boosting board or whatever it was. And then a year later, they got balance adjustments. So this is actually going to be the third buff for this character. And then at some point, I guess in the future, they will get equipment as well. So they're actually going to be getting buffed 4 times. Okay. I'm not really too sure why they decided to go with this green cooler right now. I mean, okay, so we also do have a unique equipment for the blue cooler, which we'll talk about after this. But it certainly does seem like we're going to get some kind of LOE character at the end of the month. I also did see that they are going to be releasing a Sparking Limit Break banner this week. So that really does tell me that this is probably going to be an LOE Ultra character finally. I'm assuming it's going to be Frieza. It would be very strange to me if they decided to go with like Ultra Metal Cooler over Frieza. Frieza does not have an Ultra yet. By far the most popular and well-known villain in the franchise doesn't have an Ultra. At what point does it begin to get absurd? All right. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this green cooler. I do have his pre-Zenkai kit pulled up here, so let's go ahead and do max stats. All right, so let's take away 13,000 from his stats. He's going to have very bad strike attack. 262,000 strike is really bad for a Zenkai character. Blast is going to be really good. 296 is his blast. That's very high. And then he's going to be at around 190,000 defenses. Yeah, honestly, his stats seem pretty good. Stats definitely seem very good for what he wants to do. He's a ranged character. Doesn't really matter what a strike is, I don't think. But defenses look pretty good as well. Sure, solid. Unfortunately, he does hold 2 strike cards. This was a way they kind of balanced characters back in the day, was they would give melee characters 2 blast cards, and they would give ranged characters 2 strike cards. That's not something that's going to change. Like, this guy's not going to Zenkai Awaken, and then all of a sudden he's going to change the cards he's holding. So that's kind of annoying, for sure. All right, strike and blast are normal. All right, so the blue card is Death Beam. Massive pierce damage, applies the following effects to enemies on hit. 100% chance to inflict extreme bleed. It's honestly, it might not even be worth to look at the old mechanics because they're just so much different considering how old he is. Plus 30% of damage received for 15 counts. That goes up from 25% to blast damage received, and then that extreme bleed is new. Okay. The green card is Destructive Ray. So this is like a long-ranged... They really changed this. You guys want to know what this green card was before Zenkai? Inflicts bleed. Randomly destroys 3 enemy cards. Lowers card draw speed by 1 level for 10 counts. And then 20% chance to inflict feint. You couldn't even combo off of this. You just zap them with the green card and that's it. That's all that happened. Alright, so this cancels enemies' buff effects upon activation, which is really nice. So for enemies that are immune to abnormal conditions and stuff, they obviously get their nullification removed. That's good. 50 key, destroys 3 cards, extreme bleed, -1 card draw speed. Following effects occur according to... Wait, what's the following effects to enemy based on the number of times special arts card is... Okay, so the amount of times that you just spam this, I guess. Oh, God. Oh. 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 50% chance to inflict faint, and then from the second card onwards, 20% chance to faint. Okay. Like, I'm just gonna assume this character is going to be bad. Like, I don't think he's gonna be viable. I don't think you're gonna see him in PvP. What is the point in doing this? Do they intentionally want to make these characters unfun? Like, is that what their intention is? And then it is comboable. Okay, sure. All right, main ability. Oh, good. He draws a green card with his main ability. He gets 25% health, 50 ki. So just so you guys know, prior to the Zenkai, he gained 50 ki and card draw speed for 15 counts is what he gained from this. Permanent 30% blast damage, card draw speed for 15. Why did they keep it at 15? 15 counts of card draw speed is terrible. That's so bad. I mean, the rest of it is fine. Obviously, drawing a green card is good. The permanent blast damage buff is good. He does buff movies with his Z ability, because back when this guy released, LOE didn't even exist. The LOE tag wasn't in the game when this guy came out, so he only buffs movies. I'm assuming he's going to be buffing LOE with his Zenkai ability. Oh, it's green powerful. Actually, that's fine, actually. Yeah, that makes more sense. Green powerful opponent. So he's going to overlap with powerful opponent movie green units, I guess. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. 70% damage, 80% special move arts power. That was already there. That's different than what we normally see. 70% damage, because that's not 80% special move damage. 80% special move arts power. And that was actually already on his kit. I didn't even realize that's how it was worded. Okay. Reduce damage received by 60%, 50% key recovery, card draw speed, -10 to blue card cost. That's pretty good as a base, honestly. Key recovery and card draw speed and damage, and then a bunch of blue card damage. 40% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts every time this character uses a strike, blast, or special move arts while the enemy is inflicted with heavy bleed, bleed, or extreme bleed. Which you can obviously get with the green card that he force draws. Okay. Falling effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. 50% damage activates once. -5 to own strike, blast, and special arts costs. And then -30% to health restoration. Additional 30% of blast damage inflicted per defeated enemy. Okay, so he's getting stronger as the enemies are defeated, which I hate that mechanic. Applies the following effects to self upon landing a strike arts hit. Draws a blast card next. 70% to the next blast arts damage inflicted. Huh. It's going to be doing a lot of blast damage. Falling effects occur when changing cover. Restores own key by 30, reduce enemy key by 30. -30% to key recovery. Falling effects occur every time this enemy, or the enemy uses a special move arts card. Every time the enemy uses a blue card. 30% damage for 10 counts. Restores ally health by 10%. Activates 3 times. Even if he's defeated. Okay. Sure. Falling effects occur every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. 10% damage inflicted for 15 counts, up to 50%. I mean, are you really switching this guy into being hit a bunch? I don't think so. Shortens ally sub count by 2. That's fine. And then reduce enemy key by 5. Falling effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Heals by 5%. 30 key is nice. That's because he's going to get that on entry. And then -30% to special move ultimate and awaken arts power, 15 counts. Let's just kind of see the total damage here. All right, so 70% damage. I'm just looking at normal damage. 70% damage, 50%. So he's at basically 120% baseline damage. And then whenever he lands basically any card against an enemy, he's getting 40%. Well, against an enemy that has bleed. Cannot be stacked. I just realized that. Damn, that sucks. He's getting 80% special move arts power. Then he's getting 30% blast damage when there's a defeated battle member. And then he's getting 70% to the next blast card he does when the enemy is hit by a strike card. He seems alright. I mean, the thing about this character is he doesn't have cover null anywhere. But I don't think he really needs it because he's a blast character. Right? You're going to be in a bad spot with this character if he switches in and you have like a full hand of strikes. Which honestly could be the case because he holds 2 strike cards. But I certainly don't think this was the correct character to Zenkai here. Right? You had, I don't know, 20 better characters you could have chosen. I just don't, I don't really understand this pick. I don't. And I'm a massive LoE fan. I like Cooler. I like Frieza. I just don't get it. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the equipment. Let's go over to the archive. Again, we do have a unique equipment for Blue Cooler. I think that's probably all we're getting, right? Yeah, nothing from co-op. Rush hasn't reset, so we're not going to get a new Awakened equipment yet, right? Yeah, okay, so let's just go through this Cooler equip here. All right, let's see what we got here. So this is obviously going to be for Blue Final Form Cooler. He's going to get 15% to health, 60% to base offenses, and then 80% to base defenses. 80. He's really getting 80%. Okay. He's getting 90% damage, 25% sustained damage cut, 50% to base critical. Key recovery 70%. Restores own health by 15% when switched to standby. That's interesting. Okay. 15% healing when switching to standby. And then slot 3 is a little short here. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, reduce enemy key by 30 when entering the battlefield, and then applies the following effects to self when switching to standby. 15% critical rate, 20% critical damage, and then the critical rate can be applied twice. Yeah, this is not great. I mean, you compare the slot 3 to like every other. I mean, we just look at like Broly's. This is like 500,000 times better than Cooler's. Look at Gohan's. This is like 500,000 times better than Cooler's. Like, I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of this. I mean, critical damage is really good. I mean, his critical rate's going to be very high because he's getting 50% base critical here. He's getting up to 30% base critical here, and then he obviously has critical built into his unique abilities already. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do not feel super confident about this, but I mean, these equips aren't necessarily meant to, like, you know, propel these characters to like unprecedented levels. So I have my expectations set relatively low regardless, but that's really, I think, all we're getting this week. I think next week will be an Ultra character, but I think what will probably happen, because they always like to release the Ultra character on the last day of the month, I actually think the Ultra could come out on Sunday the 31st. But we'll see. Normal time would be the 27th. So the question would be, are they really going to push it back to the 31st? 4 days? I don't know. But next week should be an Ultra. I don't think they're going to release a... What is it? The Sparking Limit Break banner without there being some kind of like actually hype banner coming out after this. By the way, there is a possibility if they do decide to release this character on the 27th, I actually won't be here for it. So hopefully they do release it on the 31st. I'm going to be away from the 26th to the 30th. So we will see what they do. But that's all we have for this week. Again, we have the Zenkai for Green Cooler and then the unique equipment for Blue Final Form Cooler. Let me know down below what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.